Lots of questions came through this week, and not all to do with the incident at the ruck. Some others as well. This one came through from your Pepper via email. I presume that's how I say your name. Reason I write is that watching the Boks, sometimes I see them flooding the breakdown from the side, at times cleaning people way past the ball to create a 14% slow ball you mentioned Georgia had. Is there no way that the captains see or coaches see this and then whisper to the ref to look out for it? Or am I not too sharp and the through the gate rule when it comes in the ruck has changed?
I think it's like sort of similar to what you said before, when is it a ruck?
Yeah.
And where the South Africans do it so well is they win races and they flood it to the point that it's like, how can they not be winning it because they've won the collision? Mm-hmm. And I think that's, whenever it comes in rugby, and Brendan and I refer to a lot, is if you're there first, then you can cut that angle. Yeah. Because the ruck's not formed when you're entering. It's when, I suppose, one or two players follow you in the same direction is where there comes a problem. But the initial hit is, you almost want to take a shortcut to absolutely destroy it, to dominate it.
So one person's on the ground, there might be one person from the opposition. You can come in essentially from the side.
Yeah, because there's no, that's within reason, like each ref will deem it different, but you'll test it early. Yeah. You'll test it early. So, like you can, if you're there first, you can clear them out as long as they're within a metre. And it's not like obviously straight from the side, but you've got to be within that metre of entry before the ruck's formed as well.
Right. So what does flooding mean? How many people flood? What is a?
Well, once you win the collision, normally you've got to read it yourself. But if you're the two rock pillars, if we're talking defensively here, if this, because of the slow ball for Georgia, it's the closest near will corral back in and then flood it because you've won the collision. Yeah. Walk over the ball and then
get it back.
The critical thing is you don't play at the ball because sometimes they can say it's still in the ruck. You've got to walk over it to then, once you've absolutely dismantled them, then you can play it.
But if you're the attacking team, there's no point to flood the ruck because if you've won the collision, chances are the ball's there for the halfback.
And it's gone.
Gone. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're flooding the ruck, you've lost the contact. Yeah. And you're under siege.
Yeah. You just try and brace. Well, ideally, then you bug it then because you've got three guys coming. So yeah. So, like for example, like you look at the kicks. So the contestable kicks. If someone gets a really good, someone's up in the air, and then they make their tackle really low and they land on top of them. Ideally, they'll try to then get up. They'll try to pop up and then go square to go through and flood. Then as a person coming from that kick, you're seeing that they've won that collision area. Okay, now I can flood the ruck and be able to get in behind them because they obviously won the collision, they're up, and then you just follow them, and it's three people kind of versus one, and it's hard for the defensive team to come around from that kick to then try and brace, and they've obviously lost the race, and that's the decision to then flood the ruck.
Yeah, and then you click onto attack.
Well, then it's that, we've seen it a lot when it comes to even the British National Lions. If they get that quick ball, ideally as well, if you see that, it's almost a quick two pass to get that ball away from the ruck, and then you get into your kind of counter-attacking guys like your Will Jordans or your Tom Wrights or whoever it may be.
Because the opposition's still backing up.
Well, normally you're panicking on attack because you're under threat, so most people honeypot. And all their eyes are looking in going, have we won that ball? Am I on attack? Am I on defence? So then the space is normally wide.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about with Aotearoa. Yeah. He's looking at that honeypot.
Well, that's need a head on a swivel.
Ideally, in that situation with Aotearoa, it's just been able to just have a quick look. And at the same time, I'm not too sure if Jorgensen was screaming to him because your winger can help out in that scenario, saying we're down a person here, or like Aotearoa, get wider, or like let's speed the set, to be able to then make your movements. Because you just look at that movement, it was too late. He was looking at the ruck, and by that stage, Keenan had seen it, was on the outside of him, and that's a really, really hard tackle to make, especially under that amount of pressure that they're under.
Mm-hmm. I've got another question for you around the ruck. This one came from Stephen Booth. After a ruck is formed, why are halfbacks allowed to lift the ball off the ground and put it down again whilst they manage it towards the back of the caterpillar? Yep. Surely, the first time they lift it off the ground, it should be live, and the opposition players should be able to tackle the halfback. In a similar vein, when a halfback kicks the ball back into a ruck and the team hits a teammate in front, should that not also be offside?
I think that one is. Yeah. That should be. It is technically offside. But I love the first part of that question because this is a question that I've posed to a few referees in terms of when you're seeing that caterpillar. Because ideally, refs want them to be able to try and move it back as fast as they can to get that caterpillar. But that's correct. Like as soon as that ball is lifted, even if he's lifting it back to get back into that caterpillar to get the kickback, it should be all on. because it should be, but that's actually not refereed and officiated in a way that a team could do that. Because I've seen a couple of times, even Jamison Gibson Park, a couple of times in these test match series, I've seen him being able to grab the ball up off the ground and then going back. It's very quick, but if you're onto like an Etzebeth, who you probably see is very good in and around saying, is the ball out, is the ball out? I completely agree with that question. It should be, technically, it should be out. And
similar to the last question around, are there conversations with refs? Absolutely. Like, refs get sent truckloads of clips from both teams. Can you look at this? Can you look at that? So that when you're out on the field, you can go, oh, we sent these clips, it's not adjusting, and we sent you those clips, he's lifting it again, is that out? So you're posing the question because the risk is way too great to just go, I'm right. Because the refs normally, they've got the final say, so you want to be able to ask the question to force them to make it, to say it's out. Because if it's not, and you think,
penalty.
Even if you're right, and it's not deemed, like it's a big penalty and it's a big march up the field.
But to that question though, I completely agree. Like as soon as that ball is lifted up, technically you should be able to go for it.
We know that referee boss Chris Pollock wants you on board. So when you're finished, are you going to go after the halfbacks if you come on board, mate?
It's actually
is that a little team that you're not allowed to go against?
Well, who knows? I don't know. But I think I actually did pose this question to Paulie actually as well. I think I was in Whangarei and I actually did ask him. So he was actually very similar to what I do. But I just don't think it's officiated because it's such a small part of the game and it's seen as negative, because then it becomes a little bit of a dogfight, but I agree. It's definitely something that I touched on. I was like, as soon as he lifted up, surely we're good to go. And he's like, well, technically, it is. It just depends who's officiating and if the ref does it at that point in time.
That offside line as well, making sure that if you're a defender in that right spot, that you're not kind of...
You just communicate it though. You just communicate it. Like before the game, you see the clips, it's sent out to the ref and they'll say, okay, well, hey, this is where I am. Am I offside? You might get one go at it and he might say, take a step back, and then you ask him again on the run, say, hey, mate, am I actually onside? Can I, or for that example, he's lifting the ball up, can I go next time, or can you have a look at it? And then the ref will say, okay, I'll have a look at it, and then you're obviously commentating that on the run. He's done it again, and then you have another chance to be able to go for it. So, like to Jip's point, you've just got to be smart in and around it, because it's a momentum killer. It's 50 metres straight away off a penalty because you just kick it straight into touch.
So sometimes those conversations are happening in play as opposed to in a stoppage where you're going and having a conversation with them.
Like on the run.
Or you're trying to talk to the halfback to let them know you're there, you're watching them. Is that lifted, sir? Is that lifted, sir? So that it may make you hesitate, and then the 5 seconds is up, or there's just constant.
You do it in a way, and you also identify what kind of ref you have as well. Some refs enjoy being able to have a conversation one-on-one. You can pose that question pretty early on and have that dialogue throughout the game. But then there's just some refs that you just don't ask, knowing that's what their personality is like. And that might need to be before the game, saying, hey mate, like look, this is a picture that I've seen. Can you have a look at it? And then you might go and talk to the ARs if you're not getting what you want out of that ref. So then he can then pose that question to that ref and say, hey, this is what they're seeing. So it just comes back to that kind of understanding of referees, and the good players get a really good gauge around who's refereeing them and how they can get, get that play with what they need at that time.